Namaste, hello, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 12 of the 30-day video challenge. My name is Yogini. I am going to paint some tulips today, and I'm using watercolors for this painting. I will be using my sketch pad. These are pretty thick papers. These aren't watercolor papers. This is the sketch pad is by a brand Brustro. I think I always get that. I almost always get this name, the pronunciation wrong, I feel. But anyway, I will also be using a new brush that I have ordered. I have never really used this brand before, but it looks nice. I need to see how it feels to paint with this. I am using a 12 number brush. Let's see how it feels to paint with this brush. I hope it goes well. As for the colors, I'm using the watercolor tubes by Camel. I've been using this brand for a very long time. I really haven't tried any others so far, and I like these. I'm using only 3 colors for today's painting. I'm using a crimson. I will also be using mauve, and for the leaves I will use sap green. I have my rough cloth here to dab extra water and to dry the paintbrush in between switching colors. I already have the colors on my palette here, and I have my water, so I will start now. I'll just dab the brush in the water, clean water, and I think I'm gonna draw one tulip here. I'm going to add some water to the crimson color here because I want the first layer to be really light and watery. I just zoomed in a bit so you can get a closer look at my drawing and the page. So I'm going to draw one tulip here, and I'll see how I add the next one. Start painting like an oval shaped kind of bud with a slight opening, like the leaves, the petals are opening slightly. And then I go ahead and fill it in with a very light wash of the crimson color. Now I may have taken too much water on the brush, but don't worry, we'll just mix it around. I'll just spread it around. I will take some pigment of the crimson on my brush, the tip of the brush, and add it around the sides and a little bit on the bottom, because this side will be slightly darker as I want to give an impression that the light is falling from the other side. I leave it to dry, and while it dries I move on to paint the stem and maybe some leaves. With the point of the brush I will add the green bit at the bottom here, like that. Color on the flower was still wet, so when I added this green here, it kind of got mixed a bit into the flower, but that's okay. The flowers do have a little greenish color where the stem starts. I'm also adding just some I'm also adding some grass since I have the color on the brush. Maybe I'll draw a stem here for the other tulip, or no, maybe not. I will draw the tulip first and then the stem. I'm drawing the second tulip with this mauve color, and I think I'm gonna draw it like this here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna draw it like this here, paint it like this. So it's best to always start with a very light color on your brush, because if you need to make any corrections, it is easier when the colors are lighter, obviously, right? So I'll go ahead and add more water to my brush and just spread, and I'll just spread it across this shape. Excuse me if I don't, if my voice is not too audible today, if it's too soft and inaudible, basically. I'm having some kind of throat irritation, so I'm trying to speak less and a little bit softly. Okay, so I will add more pigments, darker pigment, as I build up on this layer to give the shadow and highlight effect. Once I'm satisfied, I will go ahead and paint the stem of this tulip. Maybe something like this. I will draw this stem the same way as the first one. And I'll paint it very lightly at first, and then add more pigment to it later. I think the first tulip still needs to dry before I add other details to it. So in the meanwhile, maybe I will paint the leaves and the brushes, sorry, the leaves and the more grass blades. And for that, to draw the leaves, I'll make them long like this. And to do that, I'll start with the tip of this brush, and as I move, I'll press it down so that the belly of the brush adds a little thicker volume to the leaves, and then I lift it up so it ends again in a thinner shape. I'm still not really very comfortable doing this, but yeah, it's just a loose painting, so that's all right. And of course, you can always go ahead and correct it with more strokes. I'll also add some grass blades around and more leaves to for the other tulip. I think I've added too much water. Oops. Okay, that's okay. The thing about all the natural things like the leaves, the flowers, is that they are not perfectly shaped. So it's okay if your leaves or flowers are not perfectly shaped. It's okay, that will look more natural. Now once the first layer of the first tulip is dry, I'm going to add more details to it. I will be adding the petal which is at the back, and obviously therefore it will be more darker. So I've loaded the brush with more pigment and less water. I will go ahead and paint this area, fill in this area with this darker shade. I will repeat the same for the other tulip, and I hope it's dry enough for the colors not to run into each other. I think that's too watery. If it's too watery, the colors are going to look very light. And I really want this petal which is behind on the back to look darker. I think I added too much water to my brush, so I'm just going to grab a paper towel and dab on to remove this watery part. and I will take more pigment, less water this time, and fill up the area with more darker color. So it's going to take a while to dry. So in the meanwhile, I think I want to add some splatters, color splatters around the flowers. It gives a very beautiful look. I like that look, and I almost always add the splatters, especially when I'm drawing flowers, florals, or any botanical drawings or paintings or illustrations or doodles. Oops. Okay. I think I'll just take another brush and yeah, this helps to this helps to splatter the color around. See, doesn't it look pretty? I think I'm going to add some more bigger dots around. These are all really small dots. So I'm just going to do it with a brush, kind of just dab around and paint different size of dots. Well, that will take some time to dry, but I think I'm more or less, yeah, I think I'm done. I think it looks nice. I find it nice. I think it looks pretty. Maybe I need some more practice, but that's fine. It was fun drawing. It was fun painting this tulips. All right, I do hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you give it a try. Do let me know if you give it a try and whether you enjoyed today's video. Well, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you do give it a try and you enjoy painting it as much as I did, and maybe you could paint it much better than what I did. All right, then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.